How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you are new to this channel, the reason why I do this, you probably had a long, stressful day. Even the market is not doing the greatest, so you want to come check out my video and hear one of my corny jokes to help cheer you up. So let's get into it. What's the hardest cult to join? The Diffa cult. I know, it was corny. But today we're going to be talking about GME and AMC. GME ended up being up on the day. And this was actually pretty good considering how bloody the market was. Also, in the previous video we talked about in the technical analysis, I showed you guys several areas of support and resistance and areas we needed to break. And lo and behold, those technical analysis, if you'd have watched that video, you could have made some good money today. But I won't waste any more of your time. Let's get into those videos right now. All right, so we're going to be doing the technical analysis on GME GameStop. It ended up finishing the day almost up 7% at 6.58%, closing at $132.35. This is really good considering how the conditions were today in the market. So let's go over the chart quickly to see how the price action is, and then also afterwards towards the end I'll give you guys my price predictions. So as you can see over here, it was actually looking good. Like at after hours, you could see some green candles ended up forming from yesterday. But getting into the pre-market, we gapped down a little bit, which is fine. So as we start moving along, as you can see, the pre-market low ended up being around 121, and I told you guys how important this 120 area is. We knew before it was 110. We needed to look for it holding down 120, and it did just that. As you can see here, from 510 all the way over, respecting that area into market open. You can see right here at open, it ended up doing a fairly good job. Like, take a look at this. So it ended up coming out and literally at almost 125. Exactly. So 124, 195. So we ended up having a sell-off, and a lot of stocks, you saw this. There was a big time morning dip, literally between 10 around, let's say around 10 to 10:15. You could have gotten a lot of stocks on discounts. So when it got down to 115, you could tell this was a great buying opportunity, because let's take a look here at the RSI. It's literally below 30. So that is an opportunity right there that you could have taken advantage of if you were doing a short-term trade. But also what we want to take a look at is take a look at this support level here at 118. It was literally respected for pretty much almost the entire part of the day. Look at this here. It never really ended up passing this 118 to high 117. Let's just call it 118 area. So we knew that was a solid area of support. So even if you would have looked, you would have saw you could have played these particular areas. So we saw here, we ended up having a resistance area. You can literally see it coming across over here, leading up until we pass it around 11:30. So once around 11:35, we started having some movements and started seeing it reach 126.57, which you could see right here. This ended up being a resistance area all the way up until you could see around 225. Besides that, what was happening, it looked like it was forming some solid resistance also over here, literally all the way leading up until 205. So when you see this type of consolidation, this particular type of a movement, it's still looking good, because like when we look at other stocks that perform in this particular way, the support level has increased, right? Because we saw it hit 115. Next support level here, we see 118. More part as we go further on in the day, 120. And then a resistance area coming over to 121, 122. So then we have this strong move here where we see it literally run all the way up to $147.87. Of course, it didn't stay there that long, but we can say from here, from around 230 all the way going up until around 240, it stayed around 138.41. And this is what we were looking for. Like I was saying yesterday, we want to see it reclaim back into that 130 area, and it did exactly that. As you can see by the chart, it also ended up being a solid resistance area going into close from 230 all the way until you can see at the end of 4, right? This was a serious resistance area. These little spikes here, that just means it didn't spend that much time there. It was a quick move. So we don't even see like a full candle there holding down that particular area. So that's why we need to take a look and also know for tomorrow, this is a great area for us to get past this 138 so we can make that move back into the 140s. Also taking a look here, whenever you see this much buying pressure, you can tell there was a lot of volume in this particular time frame because look at the rest of the day. The rest of the day, the volume wasn't really there that much, right? But right here, when we get that squeeze, this is a combination of FOMO. Traders getting in and seeing this, considering how the day was, I gotta emphasize this, seeing this move, and we already know what GME is capable of from past behaviors, it creates a lot of excitement. Especially, like I said, that psychological area, as you can see, as it passed 135, just created a big time push. Also, let's take a look what happened going into the close. As we know, it closed around 132. So if we look at this particular area as well, this is a comfortable area. Like, take a look at this in regards to the price action coming across, right? Very, very consistent. So this is an area, if we end up having a gap up tomorrow, I definitely want to see it coming in to that 132 and above range. You can see right now in after hours, it's kind of messing around the 126 to 127 area, as you can see from this candle going forward. But we can also see that it does a great job, especially if we could say from 2 o'clock and on, staying above that 21-day EMA, which shows a pretty fairly bullish trend. So it recovering above 130 or gapping up, who knows, this might even happen even today after this video is recorded, where it will continue, or it might be able to actually continue the trend above this 21 EMA, which is what we want to see. It's kind of broken trend a little bit, but if it gaps up tomorrow, we could still end up seeing a bullish movement reclaiming back into that 140 area. So definitely anyone who's looking to get into a position, we still got to take into consideration this 120 to 121 is a solid support area considering what has been happening today. So if you are thinking about a position, you know where to start. You know where the game plan is. As far as for an exit point, if you're looking to do some quick trades, definitely look into getting into that 120 to 130 areas. Also going in, let's say if you see 130 here, be prepared for a 140 movement. As far as is GME going to be getting back down into the 110s, the 110s. So we got to see what's going to be happening in the market in order to see if it's going to end up testing other prior support areas like 115 and 110. Could we get a morning dip tomorrow? Most definitely. We already know that Fridays tends to be a big time sell-off day. But honestly, I'm really seeing GME reclaim back into that 140. So let's look for that gap up in the morning. If we don't get it, then we'll definitely be around maybe around the 120s and then look to see that move happen during regular trading hours. So I also wanted to show you guys how it was today in the market. You can see here the Dow is down 345.95 points. The Nasdaq was down 274.28 points, and the S&P 500 was down 51.25 points. So as you can see right over here, it was a big time red day. So this kind of explains and shows that, hey, how GME actually did. They did fairly well, all things considered, and it's still keeping its bullish uptrend. We're also going to be checking out fintel.io for GME as well. Now take a look at this, what has been happening. I know I've showed you guys this in the past. You already know. So green rows indicate new positions. Red rows indicate closed positions. We can see here on March the 2nd was the very last new position that was open for GME. So many institutions are seeing this. Like, take a look at this. Like, look. So we have, even if we take the beginning of March, there's still some interest in GameStop. So by looking at this and also looking at how it finished today fairly well and being up, I still keep a bullish outlook in regards to GME. All right, so we're going to be jumping into doing the technical analysis for AMC. So as you can see here, we ended up being down on the day 6.41%. As you can see right here, we ended up having a gap down from last night. So we ended up gapping down here, as you can see, literally in this $8.13 range. But let's take a look at what that's that last line of support area was in the pre-market. So we could see here the last line of support was around $7.90. And it did end up getting down here to 7.8, but it didn't last that long, as you can see by the look of the candle here. But we can honestly see, hey, we have some strong support here at 790 into the pre-market because we didn't revisit that area. Also, what we really do love to see is the support actually going up, looking at those support areas. So we see here at 790, we see the support area here right around $8. We also see another support area right here around $8, and let's call that 15 cents as well. So these are some of the things that we really want to look forward to. We don't want to see support areas getting lower, lower, and lower. So as we get here right at market open, we have a strong sell-off. As you can see here, we totally just broke the trend on that 21-day EMA. So, but at the end of the day, that's fine because we ended up getting down here to $7.50. And again, a lot of stocks during this particular time ended up being down. Like a lot of discounts that you could have gotten in this particular area. So seeing this, you already know this is a great place to add. We could take a look at the RSI. It's literally well below 30. It's around like 20. So at $7.50, this was a place you could have added to your position. And if you wanted to do a short-term trade, you could have ended up getting into this area right here around the $8.20 range, which is a really good move when you take that into consideration. That's about 80 cents on the dollar right there. So for a good amount of time, we ended up staying above that 21-day EMA, riding the trend fairly well. Then ended up breaking it around 12:10 p.m. So the good thing is we saw here that we have a support level here right at $8 during the regular trading hours. And we saw this on many different occasions, right? Aside from that time that we broke right through it, we were doing a great job actually maintaining it. But as the day started progressing forward, we see here right around 155 all the way going into around 205, we start testing the $7.70 range. Like I said, this looks really good, all things considered, because we went to 750. We didn't end up revisiting that. But what ends up happening? Again, take a look at the RSI. We're literally at around 37 at this particular point. So this is a place where you could have potentially have added as well and ride the uptrend. As you can see, it ended up getting here to $8.59. Of course, it wasn't there that long, so let's just call it over here at $8.37, which is still a pretty good move all the way from $7.70. Now let's take a look at the support area for this from 2 o'clock and on. We can see it's literally here around $7.91, which is actually really good. Like I said, we were looking that we had a gap down, and if we look at also what it was, the first support area in the pre-market, it was around 790. So it shows you how effective doing these technical analysis are, because we ended up revisiting that area of support and not breaking it for the later parts of the day. We did end up having a sell-off in the close, but let's take a look at what's going on into the after hours. We test this level here at $7.76. There's, again, a lot of people who did not like how the market was actually performing today. It wasn't a great day overall in general, but to take into consideration, AMC still did fairly well, holding on to some gains, even though it was down on the day. It just kind of shows that, you know what, there's still some more interest in the stock. We could also taking a look here about the amount of buying pressure that was going on. This just shows alone that, you know what, there still is demand around AMC. We can see we had some increase in volume in the early parts of the morning, and it's some increased volume here when we had this big strong move to the upside. We could have definitely gotten above $8.59 and getting literally to $9 if the market was in a better state. But for the most part, I am not complaining, and I do look forward to seeing us revisit this area and also surpassing it. So taking a look at how it was, since it closed the day at $8 right on the dot, and right now it's at $7.84 during after hours, we also got to take into consideration and understanding that we're having a big time sell-off. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing AMC do a gap up for tomorrow. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I want to see that gap up literally coming back up to around 790. That would be a great area because we can see that is a support area. Just to show you guys fairly quickly to give you guys a basis on that. Like, take a look at that. And if I extend it, you could also see. So that's what I'm saying right here at this 790 area. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing a gap up above 790. And if we end up gapping down, I still do believe that $7.50 is the strongest of support areas. So it could be around $7.70. But if you do end up seeing this area, again, this is not a bad area if you're thinking about a short-term opportunity. Hope you guys found this helpful, and I hope you're finding value in these analysis videos, because like I said, you can see the way how the market's performing and how everything has been doing. Technical analysis is valuable, and I think it's something that we all should be aware of and have some sort of idea of how it works. So despite that AMC was down on the day, I still see some more potential for some upside in regards to the price. We already know how the conditions are in the market. There's a lot of selling going on, and you know what? It's to be expected. But as far as GME is concerned, having that pop as the day went on and so forth, these are things we need to look out and also understand that there is good sentiment and there's also confidence around it. Also part of the reasons why I showed you even what's going on with institution and their interests as well. So by keeping an eye on these things and these factors and also taking into consideration the market conditions, we could be wise when it comes to making certain trades. I also want to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow. Peace.